Well, folks, it's time for number 10 on our countdown of the worst candidates in the 2016 GOP field. And number 10 is Bobby Jindal, the governor of Louisiana. And hey, he's got the same name as me, right? But and look, the thing about him is okay, first the good. He's a lot like Ted Cruz. His parents were immigrants. He's about the same age as Ted Cruz, and they're both campaigning as an outsider. Jindal, of course, the governor of Louisiana. Ted Cruz, U.S. Senator from Texas. Now, I want to play you an audio clip, and you're probably going to say to yourself, this is courtesy of the Mark Levin radio show. You're going to say to yourself, Jindal sounds pretty good, doesn't he? Well, we'll see.
Yeah, you're very impressive. Your knowledge base, your articulation, the way you handle these issues. Let me ask you this. The Republicans in the House and Senate, my listening audience, and conservatives and Republicans around the country are furious. They don't expect them to win every fight, but they expect them to fight, to get engaged. And all we keep hearing now is because one of the favorite inside the Beltway guys after another is an elected speaker, that we have chaos and so forth. Isn't it about time that things are shaken up a little bit?
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, think about where we are. This majority told us, give them the Senate. They would stop Obamacare and amnesty. We did our part. Your listeners, you, all of us, voted, volunteered, donated, gave them the majority. Nothing changed. This year they said Mitch McConnell's already given up the fight to defund Planned Parenthood. He's already given up the fight to stop the bad Iran deal. And I'm like you. I would love for them to fight and win. I would even settle for them just fighting right now. Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Pelosi, Reid, I don't like what they're doing to our country. But, Mark, they shoved Obamacare down our throats. Even when they lost their 60th vote, they didn't stop. When they lost their 60th vote, they didn't stop confirming the president's judges. They found a way to get it done. They're willing to fight for socialism. Why won't we fight for freedom and for our country? It seems to me the slogan in D.C. is now for the Republican Party that they can't, as opposed to that they can, they will, and they'll fight. I agree with you. My sense is voters are angrier with the Republicans than even the Democrats and the president. At least the other side is honest. Bernie Sanders calls himself a socialist, so really your only choices now in D.C. are honest socialists on the left and lying conservatives on the right. They'll say one thing to get elected, they do another thing when they actually govern. I'd much rather they had some backbone and actually fought. So I agree. I mean, Congress is at 12% in the opinion polls. It looks like they're determined to drive that number even lower. I wish they'd stand up and fight for us.
Do you think it's...
So, as you're listening to that, you're thinking to yourself, hey, Jindal, he sounds like a pretty strong conservative, and he says all the right things, and look, he's a frequent guest on Focus on the Family. He's a strong social conservative. But I listened to some of his speeches, and really, he's the current governor of Louisiana. So, shouldn't somebody who's who's a current governor, talk about the good things they have done in their state? And quite frankly, I have not really heard much from Bobby Jindal, as compared to Scott Walker, who unfortunately is now out of the race. I have read where Bobby Jindal he's against Common Core. He's taken on the Obama administration. Regarding Common Core, he's very pro-religious liberty. But again, I hate to repeat myself, but if I'm run for president and I'm currently a governor, I would want to tell the voters what I have done, the good things I have done as governor. And with Bobby Jindal, I just get a lot of your typical conservative talking points. Sort of like somebody's been reading the back of a Heritage Action brochure or something like that. And that's certainly not a knock on Heritage Action, which I feel is a great, outstanding organization. Just using that as an example. I would say too, he's got the underwater approval rating in Louisiana. I've been reading some things that he is not. He's more of a tax and spend liberal than a fiscal conservative. That's something, if you want to go more in depth on Bobby Jindal, definitely do your homework on there. But I would say the one thing that really, really disappoints me about Bobby Jindal is his comments regarding Donald Trump, who, if you watched a previous video on my YouTube channel, you know that Donald Trump is one of 4 candidates that I like for president. And basically Bobby Jindal says Donald Trump is a narcissist and an egomaniac. He also says Donald Trump is dangerous, but not in the way you think. Many says he's dangerous because you wouldn't want a hothead with his fingers on the nuclear codes. And while that's true, that's not the real danger here, Jindal said. He also goes on to say the real danger is that, ironically, Donald Trump could destroy America's chance to be great again. That's Bob Jindal just doing a play on words, because Donald Trump's slogan is "Make America Great Again," which you're saying yourself, like, you know, Bobby Jindal. Also, Rand Paul has done this a lot too, and we'll get to him later on in the countdown. But really, if you're going to attack somebody in this race, can't you attack like a Jeb Bush, a John Kasich, a Lindsey Graham, ones who time and time again have sold out and have not stood for conservative principles. And one final thing on Bobby Jindal, it's just, right now, as somebody who's a social conservative and a Southerner, if you're looking to play that card in the Republican primary, there's way too many cooks in the kitchen. You have Ted Cruz, Ben Carson, Mike Huckabee, Rick Santorum. It's just, to me, I've read an article recently this week that Bobby Jindal has gone up to 5th place in Iowa. He's doing better there. But still, I just think that if he wants to be president, which, hey, I kind of hope someday that he would want to be, he is, how old is he? He's like 44, 45. So yeah, he's a very young guy. And he has a chance to, in 2016, maybe he'll be the VP, or he'll get a cabinet position. Because his time as governor is up, I believe, this year, actually. So yeah, I mean, he can go reinvent himself and then run again in 2020 or 2024. But 2016 for Bobby Jindal, I just have to say 2 things, Bobby. Stop attacking Trump, and please get out of the race. You're a good person, generally a good, strong conservative, but right now it's just ain't your time, child. Alright, so that is number 10 on our countdown of the worst candidates. It doesn't really seem like the worst right now, but believe me, there's a lot of dirt that we still have to shovel here on these candidates. I'm gonna get mean, I tell you. Eventually. no more Mr. Nice Guy. I am Bobby Crawford. If you have anything you want to tell me, send me an email. Please comment. I would love to get some comments on here. Pretty please. Okay. Well, I need to sign off here now before I start getting too silly. You're listening to The Bobby Crawford Show.